There we are.
Here we are.
We're live.
Yep, and for real, it does look like we're live.
Hello, everyone. We're back. Ashley and Sharon are here to give you lots of galactic updates and good stuff. Ashley, you look a little blurry to me. I want to ask. Well, I guess it can't change. I mean, it might just be on my end.
Okay, I'll look on YouTube and see.
Okay.
Without the echo, I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Again, we're back, and we're here to talk about galactic stuff and more, which encompasses, I tried to say, a lot of things. There's a lot going on in the world with the disclosure, as I call it, bringing the masses into the place of knowing that we are not alone in this universe, this galaxy, at least.
I am blurry.
What? Huh?
I am blurry. I looked over there.
You are a little bit blurry. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm like really blurry. I don't know. I just checked my video settings.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Right.
I don't look blurry, so whatever. I'm just radiating so much light. It's blurring everything. I don't know what to say.
You're vibrating too high for this frequency. So it's trying to catch up with you. There, now you're not.
Oh, really?
All right.
Okay.
For a second there you weren't.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just keep going and hopefully it'll get stable.
You look good and my voice will be heard, so we're okay. Yeah. And I sound fine and I'm loud enough, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can turn up your volume just a little bit for me anyway. Maybe it's just on my end. So I don't have my earphones in. I can turn up mine too. All right. So those that don't know us, I will introduce myself, and Ashley, if you could introduce yourself too. Okay. So I am Sharon Sananda Kumara, and I am I guess you could call it a New Age practitioner in the Portland, Oregon area. I am a psychic medium, hypnotherapist, specialized in past life therapy, and contactees, that type of thing, for anyone who maybe doesn't know who to talk to. I have support groups in that area too. And I'm just living my life. I also have an academy where I teach courses and do fun things like this. Ashley, take it away.
Awesome. I'm Galactic Ashley. I have 2 snore monsters in the background that are out of my reach, so I can't make it quiet. Okay, good. Mahana's like, I will test you on that. I'm Galactic Ashley. I channel divine guidance for starseeds and earth warriors, connecting them to their star families, dragon and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. I have courses during the year, galactic guided intensives. We're in the middle of one right now called Gaia and the Galactics. And I am still taking people that want to join. You'll have access. All of the recordings are still available. This is probably the only one that I do that you can, like, the recordings make sense. You don't have to participate in person. So if you would still like to join, you still can. And I have a couple of coaching slots open, as well as I'm doing a new thing, and I'm really excited about, and I'll be able to remind you all next month because it will start towards the end of July. But it's a 4-week psychic game practice session. So even if you're a practitioner, somebody that's whether you're just starting out or you're a practitioner that just wants to practice, we're going to basically just have a whole group of people come together to do practice sessions together during the summer.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm excited. It will be fun.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. So yeah, I forgot to mention, and Ashley is also, I guess we call ourselves contactees. Should we call ourselves that?
We can call
We consciously work with galactic beings,
Mhm.
and I've had experiences since I was a child, and to this day still do. And so we're kind of in that space of um, we're kind of a bridge, wouldn't you say? I mean, there's lots of bridges on the planet, so I believe that we're kind of like that. We're one of the bridges
Yeah, I think that's
between, yeah.
good. Or we're
Good.
connecting with our galactic selves, transmitting the information, embodying that energy closer and closer into this planet,
Right.
merging with our galactic selves to be a galactic being on the planet, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, embodying that. I know that's how I see it too. Going up, pulling our lower frequency bodies up, personalities, whatever you want to call it. That's what integration's all about, right? Pulling them up further or going within further, however you want to look at it. I kind of see it as the sun, a circle, a portal. And as we pull the outer rims, the outer circles of ourselves, the outer parts of us, fragmented parts of us in, pulling them in further and further into the center, our frequency becomes higher and faster and higher and faster. And we integrate with our higher parts of us. I had this epiphany, well, somewhat of an epiphany in my meditation the other day. People who know me know that I am a Yeshua freak. So I work very closely with him, and I'm reading Law of Mastery. I mention that every time I get online because it's so profound. And I was sitting there in meditation, and I had this inspiration in about the fact that Yeshua, Jesus, since he has that personality of his when he walked the planet, reached that part of us, the God part of us. He was able to ascend right into the God frequency, source frequency, and he's still, and he's here to help bring us what we call home out of fear and into love. And I realized what we're doing here on this planet, practitioners and people that as we're healing, we're bringing in fragmented parts of ourselves. He is in that higher. We are fragmented parts of the God mind, of the one mind. We are fragmented personalities of the God mind. And I was like, whoa, my mind just expanded completely. I mean, I just, those little emojis with the top of your head blowing off kind of thing.
Mhm.
That's how it felt, like that, where he is doing the work that we do here for all of us, that we bring in our fragmented parts, or that we help others do that and things like that. Because I know there's lots of practitioners who watch these shows. Um, he does it or the masters, or I just see him in this space of when he bringing us all home. It's the same thing, just on a galactic, universal source level. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I like it. It's interesting because it's like if you're saying like Yeshua like we are the fragmented personalities of the God mind, right? But we're also within ourselves have all of these fragmented parts within our own personalities that we're sort of being asked to bring together and to love and come back into wholeness, so that so it's like our job as like a fragmented part to clean up our own fragmentation so that we can fit back into the whole to be part of the God mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exponentially. Yeah. It's from the micro to the macro kind of thing. Right. And we have
Mm-hmm.
to clean up our stuff. And as we do that, we're moving in higher and higher in frequency. And that's what he's doing. He just puts it in different verbiage. And he's the one who taught me how to do this. So how to do that kind of work.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
huh?
That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, hey, Carissa, good to see you. Love to you. Bug just landed on my computer here. We got lots of bugs around here. So there's lots of galactic stuff, disclosure stuff going on right now. Do you know? You know, right, Ashley?
Yeah, a little bit. I keep hearing about it sort of in the, I feel like I'm right now, I know, I'm like, what am I doing on a galactic show right now? Because I feel like I'm just in the underworld. Except, of course, the galactic beings are here all of the time, right? And they're helping and they're like here, kind of, they feel like they're a little bit more on the outskirts. And I'm like in the underworld. But what I have been hearing is a lot of people talking about disclosure stuff. So I would love for you to talk about it so I can hear it from you.
Oh, sure. Well, I just have a little bit of it. What I hear in my circles and what I can glean from my meditations and communications is, well, a big deal in mainstream world is the whistleblower from the Pentagon who recently came through, and you heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched his interview. David Grush, and I would suggest if anyone's interested in the fact that we're getting information to help people wake up to this. And a lot of people in our circles already know all this, but the fact that it's coming out into mainstream circles is pretty huge. Okay, so anyway, so he's worked in the Pentagon. He's high ranking, has lots of experience. He's been there for years and years and years. And we're seeing that he has the highest clearance in the Pentagon, actually. And he confirmed that we have extraterrestrial spacecraft since the 1940s that are being back engineered, reverse engineered, and also that our government has alien bodies. And to a lot of us that's like, well, duh. But to people that need something more, or aren't experiencing things the way we do, this is really big. So they have, what he found out was that and was part of, was a department called the Crash Retrieval Department in the Pentagon. They actually have a department called that. Okay. He was apparently briefed on a lot of it, and he decided to come forward because he could see over the years that he could see through his career that all of this information is been kept from us for so many years in a nefarious way. He said, didn't use that word, but that's kind of what he meant. And so he decided to blow the whistle on it, and then he was which is what happens, but they have a law against it, was retaliated against for it. So he filed a whistleblower complaint within the Pentagon. Anyway, so the point is that he's, whether it's part of this false flag thing where, ushering in the negative ET agenda or not, I don't know. My spidey sense tells me he's legitimate, and this is part of the disclosure with the Alliance, White Hats, Federation, and all that have been working on for us. It feels like that, because then another thing happened where there was a spaceship that landed in the backyard of someone's house in Las Vegas. Did you hear about that? it was reported on mainstream news on a ABC affiliate. Did you hear about that, Ashley?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I got some video. He took video of the ET. So he called 911. The the dash cam of the police car actually got the video of this ship landing, coming down and landing. They didn't say if it crashed or not, uh, but they called 911. They sent cops out there, and he got video of these beings. Um, I thought I'd share it. There's a video, a real quick video. You want me to share it?
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay. Wait. Okay. I've never shared on here on Restream. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. How do I do this? Yeah, it won't let me. There it is. Okay. Entire screen. Whoops. Sorry. Okay. I'll get it. It's just really crazy. Yeah, for some reason, it won't let me share. Oh, there it is. Okay. Is this it? Is that it? There it is. Okay, I got it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
An 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're tiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
How do I stop it? Stop sharing. Okay.
I wish it was longer.
Yeah, that's just a part of it. You want to play it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really don't think too highly of special counsel.
Wait, it's not sharing.
Whoops, that's not it.
And if anything, they're actually doubling down on their support.
That's not it. Okay. Replay.
And another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're tiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
All right.
Do you know what came out of that?
It came out of the spaceship. According to these people, this guy, that the spaceship landed in their backyard. These two aliens came out of the ship, and we're in their backyard just hanging out or whatever. And I haven't looked at the whole thing, or the whole report. I just saw that it was shared on Lena Denon's Telegram page, and she works with, as I've mentioned her before, she works with Galactic Federation of Worlds, and she asked her contact there what if it was real, and they said they can't. He said he can't confirm that a ship did land or crash there, and that these were non-biological entities, and it was part of the disclosure project, the disclosure. Yeah. Slow drip.
Yeah, non-biological entities? Like that I don't, for some reason that's not registering in my brain. Like they can confirm that they're not non-biological. What?
That they are non-biological.
But we're all biological. Everything's biological. So they just mean not human?
They mean, well, the way I took it was that they're like maybe some kind of a android or something.
Interesting. What did you feel when you were watching it? What did anybody else feel that's here when they were watching it besides Eeksies?
Yeah, Eeksies. Right. Yeah. I mean, it feels legit to me. And when I first heard it, it felt legit. And because I know that that I understand, and what I get from my peeps is that it's a slow drip, and it's something that has to be done slowly, but that it's happening no matter what. Now, why that was chosen or why that happened, who knows, Maybe it's to help us understand that there are different types of extraterrestrials that, look different than us, whatever they are, biological, not. What? I did have this thought, now that I think about it, is that, okay, let's say that that the Alliance, the Federation are working with the good guys here, and they want to bring disclosure in some way that would not have to land ships on the White House lawn or above cities or anything like that. And so they do things like this. Now, wouldn't they send, and if the ship was going to crash, wouldn't they send non-biologicals rather than biologicals? Because they don't know what we're going to do. Does that make sense? When they send some kind of a android or robot, or it doesn't look robotic, but I know that they can do amazing things with, or clone or something.
Or like our version of the Mars rover, but like that actually is like a being like us.
Right. Yeah. It would make sense to me if we're going to send,
like we send dogs to space and monkeys and
right.
stuff.
I was thinking of chimps
less than human.
But those are those are not the same thing.
No, that's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky says, she never saw that part of it on the news. Yeah, I didn't either. I thought before it was a joke. Now, not sure. I totally, and I got that the person that was interviewed that called the cops showed them, but they didn't show it. They didn't want to show it. See, that's a problem or not a problem. I don't know. Is they don't want to freak people out, so it has to be shown. And so he released the video on his own. Huh?
Because he was videoing it while he was on the phone. He probably had it on speaker. Like so the video. So somebody had a phone on speaker. They probably grabbed the other cell phone and were videoing it, and then that guy posted it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. So the guy that did the videos, it was the one that posted it, and that's how it got out, because
I
whatever
believe so.
Did
Right.
not report that.
Right. Because I understand that he actually gave them footage, but they chose not to use it, which makes sense.
And nobody went out. Did anybody go out there and investigate anything?
The cops did.
And nothing was there? Nobody was there?
I don't know that part of it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. You don't have to know all these things.
That's all right. I just saw the original news story, probably like Ricky did. And yeah, we don't have a good track record. You're right. So I would think that if they are going to send someone here, it would be non-biologicals, like the droids.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's weird because I was like looking at it and like trying to like tuning in, and there was a part of me that was like, oh, is that real? I can't like get a good feel on it. But then there's another part of me that really wanted to cry. So I don't know if like it must be connected to, I mean, it's still, do you know what I mean? I wonder if it's just linked up with a consciousness that maybe is, but it still looked scared. I mean,
It
it was
does look
both.
scared. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and I thought about that too. My sister and I have had these conversations too, the same conversation we're having here, that you know, maybe since if it is non-biological, then you know, they would if it's some kind of a droid or you know, cloned being with, you know, that doesn't have a soul, a personality, soul, or whatever we have, kind of thing, you know, I would think that they would still implement maybe some kind of emotion in it, and rather than being scared, it might just be confused or just looking around how to get out of there. You know what I mean? What am I here? You know, how do I get out of here? Type of thing. And does that make sense? So I mean, I'm not saying that they don't deserve, you know, not to be treated cruelly. That they do. All sentient beings are. Looks like it's sentient. So if we send, you know, if we send like a droid or something to another planet that looks like us, but doesn't have necessarily a soul, whatever a soul is, you know, that we can, so we can create some kind of a being. Without that, we would think of it, if you're in that type of a place, maybe you might think of it as expendable. I mean, the military already sees our soldiers as expendable, but does that make any sense?
Yeah, but I'm also wondering if it feels more like Avatar-ish, right? Because like in Avatar, like the person is elsewhere, but it has like a body. Like
Yeah.
and it's probably not just like that, but there's something in there that feels sentient, whether it wants to be there or it's forced to be there. And then there's something else going on, and I'm just trying to like figure out without like fully tuning in, because I don't know that I can right now. But I was just like going off of like my feelings, which was like, that's not real. And also like all like I want to start crying, like, because there's something there. Like, I don't know if there's healing that needs to be there or like love, but I also didn't have the sensation to go run out there and hug it either. Like, it seemed like something to like be, you know, I probably would have stayed in the house, like the guy.
I agree with you.
I know that I would have called the police, but I don't know what I would have done actually.
Well, I don't either. And you know, these might be people that don't even think about this thing in their everyday life. You know what I mean? And like we do, pretty much, right? So I mean, he sounded pretty terrified to me. And I saw the other news story on it, which was, you know, short and didn't have the video, but it did show the cop. The cop was talking to a neighbor who also saw the ship come down, and he was kind of making fun of it. He goes, I wouldn't have believed it if my partner hadn't seen it, or if he hadn't got it on dash cam. We haven't got it on dash cam or whatever. So he was kind of, you could tell he was nervous about it. He was saying, yeah, you know, this is crazy. I never would have believed it if it wasn't for that. So
Because at first I was like, is that just a dude in like a suit? Like, is this a joke? Right? Because people dress up like Sasquatch and stuff and run through the forest, do all these things. And there's been shows where I think NPR or This American Life did an episode a long time ago where this guy's job on this like They were supposed to, they told people that they would see Sasquatch if they went out. I guess it would be like if you went to a SETI and all this stuff was fake because they're telling you that like ships will fly over. And if they don't, you know, James Gilliland is like, oh, I got to do something about this. So I'm going to fly fake ones over to these people. So his job was literally to dress up as Sasquatch and like run through like in these weird ways so that people could sort of like see and believe or something. But I was looking at it and I was kind of like, is that, but then it's like it turned and like the neck and the thing, and I'm like, oh no, okay.
It looks real and even blinks its eyes, you know, and there's
and it did that. There was like an insectoid like movement and stuff going on with it. So
yeah, I mean, there's just so many creatures, so many beings out there. They're very different than us. I've seen them myself. And so it, you know, this is maybe one way of slowly getting us used to seeing different beings, whatever the agenda was with it. Yeah. But, I know I felt the same way, that I felt sorry for that poor being, because it
I
did
was
look
like,
scared.
where's his partner? Like I was waiting for like there has to be a second, or like there has to be more than one.
We want a happy ending for sure. So I don't know what happened with it. I'd have to do some more research to find out if I remember, maybe it got back in the ship and left. I'm not sure. That's what I want to think.
Yeah.
It could have just been there on reconnaissance and was, you know, looking for things. Who knows? Insectoid. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. It looked kind of humanoid, a bit humanoid to me. But yeah, it was definitely different. So that, you know, that's a pretty big deal to have that on mainstream news. ABC, I think it was an ABC affiliate.
Yeah. And that's better than, I mean, it's not better than, but a lot of times when people are seeing flying things, then the news is like, oh, that was whatever, this happens when whatever, something into our atmosphere, it looks like that, right? So it's like they can kind of make it go away unless it's really specific. I don't know how they're going to make that go away.
No, I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. I mean, yeah, of course they'll find some way to debunk it, which is another message that the Land Denon got from the Federation, is that they will try very hard to not the word debunk, but I forgot what they said. But yeah, so there's lots of stuff. There was a news article in the Sun about a year ago that I didn't even hear about it, that the Sun requested with Freedom of Information Act, requested documents, and they finally got them, that showed that that the Pentagon was studying time travel and anti-gravity mechanisms, that type of, I can't even think of the word. Help me here, you know, that type of thing. So they're talking about that, that we are moving into that era. The Pentagon was talking about that we're pretty much have it or doing it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's to have that out in mainstream news also is pretty big. These are documents from the Pentagon. I mean, this stuff has been going on for a long time, and people who are in these worlds that already know this have been trying to. trying to put this information out. Also, the whistleblower, the interviewer asked if people had been killed who've been trying to bring this information out, and he confirmed yes. And we kind of know that, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think okay, not like we're okay. The government has a lot of problems, but I feel like because it's this country and this country is really very big, our government feels really far away from us. So to me,
Right.
it feels like it's really beneficial to have more people that are like seemingly regular people that are doing 911 calls or having like that feels actually really important. Like not somebody that's like doing this and is already flagged and all their accounts have been deleted and they've reopened them. Like not one of those people, but like
Right. That's what I was telling my sister. The very same thing. Yeah.
like to have more regular people having I'm just whatever loosely using the word regular, right? Having more people sort of being able to document this or call 911 because it can then weave into some of the government stuff because our government even kind of to myself, and this is coming, and I remember having this like realization really clearly when I was living in Paraguay, because Paraguay is a very small country, and actually voting for the president, like obviously I'm not Paraguayan so I couldn't vote, but like the politicos and the politicians, they come out to you, and yeah, there's tons of bribery and all kinds of stuff going on, right? So this Paraguay, not a perfect, not something to like live up to standards wise, but politics and government felt really close. Like you could actually go to the governor, and you had access to politicians because it was smaller and it felt like more meaningful. Like you felt like you mattered. Our government just feels so huge and weird and off limits and not accessible, and you can't go there, and your vote counts, but not really if you're in these states because nobody's going to vote that way if you're wanting to vote differently. Right. So I feel like these sort of salt of the earth experiences from like other humans is really going to help, because some people, they're like, Pentagon, what? Whistleblower, what? Like, I don't know. Like it's, I mean, yeah, I believe it and it's happening, but like, I think we need like grassroots things happening. I think grassroots is a good term to sort of use, like on the ground, grassroots people having experiences that then get shared. And I think that is going to be the thing that sort of starts tipping the scale to like, oh, maybe this is really happening. Like if a millionaire,
and that's the way it's been happening.
yeah, but like if a millionaire is doing it, you might be like, oh, well, that guy's in Hollywood and he has like access to all these special effects things and they just made a thing and that's up, right? So it's just nice to have. I want some more grassroots stuff going on.
Yeah, no, totally. And I agree with you. And that's why I believe that ship probably landed where it did. I mean, this guy wasn't in the disclosure community or anything like that. They're just, everyday people. And yeah, totally. And that's how it has to happen. I mean, people who have had people have been talking about this for decades. So this isn't news. And people like me and Whitley Strieber, I'm not comparing myself to Whitley Strieber, but Whitley Strieber first came out with his contact experiences. He was an everyday guy. He was just a regular guy. Most people, all people that talk about their experiences are everyday people.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But unfortunately what happens is then it gets to be where people are, and the whistleblower talked about this, is it made him, that's why he decided to come out and expose this, is because people who have been talking about their experiences or that there are craft and alien beings, whatever we want to call them, he called them aliens, then they're made fun of and they're called all kinds of names, and they're actually, their lives are ruined or killed. And that was when they had that conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah. They get severely bullied, crazy.
So
and
people were,
I said they get called names and severely bullied and isolated, and then their groups turn on them, and then I don't think it's really hard to survive.
Well, yeah, and then people won't come out and talk about it because I believe
Yeah.
more people have had experiences than are actually talking about it. Lots and lots of people have had hardcore or real time experiences and or seeing strange things or whatever. Yeah. So, but people are afraid to come out and talk about it because it's been so people are made to look like they're crazy. I mean, look at what happened to Travis Walton. Yeah. When he was abducted, he and his friend, when they were camping, and he was put through horrible things because he was in the military. He was put through horrible things with military, and they treated him like he was, like he had done something wrong, like he was an enemy of the state, and that's what happens. And he hadn't even told anyone about it. So, yeah, I agree, Ashley, that this has to be the more people talk about it, the more we're moving into that shift, and we're able to change that dynamic or that false, that inverted reality that it's crazy and that ETs don't exist, or boy, put on the tinfoil hat. And it's the media that has done it. Well, the government working with the media, these black ops, Pentagon departments and things like that. These black ops departments have done that. And so I would suggest listening to his interview. It's really good. It's only, I don't know, about 30 minutes long, but or 30, 45 minutes long. Yeah, so many military pilots, exactly. Military pilots, soul premises. Yeah, totally. That have either been discharged or told to keep their mouth shut or else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a lot of leverage in the military.
Huh?
You don't have a lot of leverage in the military.
No, and not in civilian life either. It depends on who you are. But yeah, I know my boyfriend's grandfather worked on missile silos in Alaska, and he told me, he said, I never hadn't met him. He was always ready to tell a story, always, unless it came to UFOs or that kind of thing. Then he would shut up. He wouldn't say a word. Yeah, couldn't. I think I believe that they make them sign non-disclosures or else. Yeah. So when a blower comes out like this gentleman has, who risks everything, I think we need to sit up and notice. Yeah, that's just my opinion, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we know that the Pentagon is looking at time travel or developing time travel technology, which they probably have been for a long time. No telling how old these documents are. I'm sure they have developed it. Yeah. So it feels like we're moving pretty quickly toward closure, slowly. I'd always been seeing it around now anyway, this next couple years, 2023, 24, into 2020. What about you?
What does it look like to you?
The disclosure?
Yeah. Like when you say full disclosure, like what does that kind of look like?
Disclosure meaning that ships will be flying above us that are not airplanes, and it'll just be normal like they are airplanes, that type of thing. We will be more welcoming and understanding and of of other beings that are not maybe that claim to be and are not born on are not terrestrial. I feel that the human ones are going to be coming first, the human looking ones that maybe look a little bit different than us, but still humanoid. Yes. So Prima, I totally agree. Star Trek, Star Wars. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's how I see it, that because there's a lot of, and you may know this too, Ashley, and our audience, there's a lot of non-human beings like us who do live on the planet now, who do also live underneath, underneath the surface, below the surface. So those, what I feel and see is those beings are going to be themselves more often, and it'll be kind of a normal thing for people. We'll be working with non this type of beings in our workspace. We'll see them out on the street, little by little. I believe we do now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's interesting because it sort of feels like a couple of things are happening, right? Like I could see benevolent beings that come here with the intention to sort of to get us used to seeing them, which is really us getting used to seeing something that's different from us, because we are terrible. Like as a whole, we do a really poor job of accepting anything that is different than us. So we can't even accept parts of ourselves that we don't like, or really parts of ourselves that we don't understand. So we're rampant with racism, and it's like a lot of it is subconscious. So I am wondering, and so we can't just be welcoming and open and understanding, but if it's like so intense, I wonder if that starts to shift the way that we think about maybe that person of a different skin color, or that eats different food, or their house smells different than mine does. Maybe we become more accepting of that because the stretch between this and these things that are flying over us shifts us. So I'm just wondering, because it feels like it could have some beneficial things for us to actually help us to open to self-acceptance, acceptance of anything that's different, because there will be very clear, I don't know, being could be blue, or it could look like that insectoid being that we saw earlier, which are very different enough, right? So I feel like disclosure is going to be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, for even like the ego. I mean, probably in a lot of ways for all of us, who knows? Because it's going to require not just the acceptance of these beings that we're seeing and the things that are flying over, but for just ourselves, humanity. Like what are we going to do when we're faced with that?
Yeah.
Like really faced with it, not softly faced with it, not science fiction faced with it, not like, oh, that's happening in the government, which is way over there. Even though it's really in our lives every day, but not everybody realizes that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's how it's going to happen, slowly being introduced, and I believe we're being tested along the way. We'll react, and that could, and I believe that ship in Vegas, part of that. So, yeah, there's nothing that that would deep that for me, the intuition I got. But yeah, I totally agree with you. And so, and that comes along with it is how do, we need to start accepting ourselves first. And I believe there's an agenda that is, I mean, there's two agendas. There's lots of agendas, of course, but we're being divided so much outside manipulations, that kind of thing. That it's important, of course, that we stay in sight of that we are a human family, and that we, whatever does we have, or minor, this unique, of course, and part of the human family, and star beings that maybe are not from our planet are really different from what I know and understand. I mean, they have families, they have they're not, they have the same types of goals and ideas that we do, that we will be living with, and may not even be on this planet, because that's another thing I see is being able to, that was another part of Pentagon documents. I just remembered that, and I've seen this in my mind's eye anyway. Colonizing planets, going to other planets, living on other planets, being experienced that way. And we're living a lot long days, so I see it in our lifetime. I haven't unseen it yet.
Wasn't the rule?
See that thing? I see
it.
What?
I said, isn't the rule once you see it, you can't unsee it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't lost any energy yet.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So, did you see Soul Prima's comment? She wants to know what you think about the ant people in the caves in Grand Canyon.
I do remember channeling some ant beings for a client, and they were really great. I feel like, the Grand Canyon's a really high frequency place. So just going off of the rules, something of a really low frequency can't be really functioning in a high frequency place unless the frequency is super neutral. But then, and what I mean by that, there are frequencies that are really, really neutral, which means, and plants are kind of like this too. It means that if you want to use them for sorcery or for hurt or for pain or whatever, you can, or you can use it for healing or for good. And we are really neutral energies too, which is why free will, we have choice, right? So, but there are some energies that I feel like they are high vibrational. And if you're going in there, you are being demanded to also adjust your frequency to that energy. So to me, and I haven't actually tuned into the ant beings in the Grand Canyon, but what I'm getting right now, what it feels like to me, is that they're high vibrational beings that are working with, I don't want to use inner earth because that has its other connotations, but they're working with the frequencies of Gaia to help shift some stuff around, because that's also land that had lost a lot of sovereignty, and there's a lot of indigenous populations that are there. And so I think a lot of stuff needs to be moved around. So they feel like they're doing a lot of work there, and that's really great. Of course, there's tons of insectoid beings and ant beings that probably aren't beneficial, but those feel pretty benevolent and very quite lovely, and probably thank them tonight before I go to bed for their work.
Nice.
But I don't know anything about them. I haven't read about them. Do you know anything about them, Sharon?
What I've heard about them, and I don't believe I've connected with them on a conscious level. I'm not saying I'm not connected on a higher level, but what I've heard about them is from Dr. Michael Salla and his insider JP, who does missions underground on other planets, and he actually did a mission at the Grand Canyon underground, some spaceport or something like that. He reported to Dr. Sala. And the one that he did in Florida, he talked about meeting twice. He went to some underground living, huge underground living quarters for the ant people. And he met and they're very high vibrational, he said. Yeah, very high vibrational. And they guard that place, right, very intensely. And they also have invited people to come and visit them if they like, and that you would know in your soul or your heart where it is if you are in. He didn't say where the area was, but when you're in that area, if you have the frequency that would be conducive to communicating with them, that they would open the gateway for you, type of thing. He met, JP said he met what he called a king. He says they don't call him the king, but the leader, I guess, of the group that was there, that lives under there. And yeah, he said that he had an experience with them, with that leader, that was really profound for him, where I think he touched him here, I'm not sure, and he saw some visions. Yeah, it was really profound. So yeah, he confirms what you're saying, definitely.
Oh, that's good. They carry a lot of information from the land and history and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I like them when they come in. I like them. Again, I'm not. I love them all.
Well, they've been. I understand that the ant people have been revered by the indigenous cultures for a very long time, and they've been here a very long time, living underground. I guess. Yeah, they actually have ceremonies where they wear costumes that honor the ant people, some indigenous peoples. I understand. Yeah. So they told JP, according to JP's talk with Reveal, because he has permission to talk to Dr. Saul and give us information that way. He's been doing that for like 15 years, I guess. They told him that it won't be long to where they'll be coming up to the surface.
I just got not just yet though.
Yeah. No, I don't see it happening right now.
Yeah. I always feel terrible when, because there's tons of sugar ants that are out right now, maybe because it's summer. I'm just like, can you not be in my house?
I know, I can't kill them either.
Because I know that they're all connected to the bigger beings and stuff. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, could you please tell them to go somewhere else?
So, Prima, what do you think about the ant people? I'm curious. In the Grand Canyon around. I understand we have lots of ancient beings still on the planet. That are just waiting for us to be ready for us to accept them and live with them in harmony, in balance.
Yeah. They're also holding information that we've forgotten. Of course, we weren't necessarily here, or maybe we were just in another body or in another form, but they're carrying a lot of, they call it the beings. I mean, the dragons always refer to it as the ancient future. So it's sort of like we're merging our future, we're merging the ancient history sort of into this one moment. But I feel like a lot of these, we can just call them the ancient ones, are these really interdimensional beings that are they're in the really old forests, they're in the Grand Canyon, they're in all of these places, and they're part of the earth and they're part of everything, but they're holding all these iterations of earth, and they're just holding that information, which is just massive, right? Until
Right.
sort of like, oh, can get it and accept the parts of ourselves. I'm still gonna accept the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Is dealing with the shadows, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and we'd be all flying high already. I also got the, I guess you could call the deep state or whatever. Um, the controllers are still planning, going to try a false flag ET invasion trick on us. So, we might want to be, and we've talked about this. I have anyway, discerning of all that kind of information and not be in fear for sure. Yeah. Because disclosure is tricky, especially when you've got beings still on the planet that don't want us to know about them, about the fact that that we have all this technology and they have been working with extraterrestrials for so long, and also that they can't kidnap humans and use them as test subjects in lab rats anymore.
Wait, you got that that's not allowed to happen, or that won't happen anymore?
I got that that's not allowed to happen anymore.
Oh, like the Galactic Federation of Light or somebody's
Federation of Worlds, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also got confirmation one more time from another source. For the life of me, I can't remember where it came from. An interview I heard, somebody who I would say was probably I would trust their information. This is 4 sources I've heard from who confirm, and they don't know each other, confirm, or that I know of. They don't travel in the same circles, that the negative extraterrestrials are gone off the planet, that have been working with the regressive humans, the regressive ETs that have been working with the regressive humans on the planet to keep all of this, to keep us from advancing technologically. And that was another thing that whistleblower said, was that was the biggest thing that really chapped his butt, so to speak, is that they were keeping all of this hidden from um, from the private sector, when we should have been using it to better our world.
Well, yeah. That's with anything, right? That's like where the free will, free choice stuff comes in. There's a lot of energy that's like neutral or can be used for really, really good. And then we tend to find the horrible things that we can also do with it, which stinks, because somebody can like invent something that's like for this really good thing. And then somebody else comes in and they're like, oh, but we can do this really horrible thing with it. And then it's like,
And then that guy's killed, or they steal their patent. That a lot of people have been killed for finding for trying to for finding cures to cancer, for putting, applying for patents for anti-gravity propulsion or anything like that, for non-gasoline powered cars, vehicles, solar energy, whatever it is that you could think of, Tesla type of energy. We used to have all this. How did we go backwards?
yeah, it's
We
a good
had
question.
it all.
Oh, yeah, we blew ourselves up. That's what happened. multiple times. I
Which
think.
time?
Yeah, multiple times.
What?
And multiple times. Yeah, just over and over again. Until we'll eventually get it right, and again, stop using things to control weather and do all this other weird stuff. That's not really what it's for.
Yeah.
And really, a lot of the technology is it's for connections, for connection and for healing. And we're like, oh, maybe I can control the weather with it. Maybe I can kill things with it. Or, oh, I don't like those giant creatures that are just coming to like see what we're doing. So I'm going to use these crystals to kill them. Yeah, we don't have the best track record. We're going to get it. I believe that we're going to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I believe I feel we're moving in that way. I believe we're moving in that direction. We just have to make sure that we don't buy into it, the fear, the division and the fear and manipulation. Because that's how they get us. That's how we get ourselves, I guess you could say. Because those shadow parts of us in the collective, we're not separate. The shadow parts of us in the collective are rearing our ugly heads. That was one thing Yeshua taught me 20 years ago, is that when I refer to anyone or think about anyone, that they are a part of me. Refer to them as a part of me.
Yeah.
That helps me see things in a different light.
Yeah, or just, I guess, to be compassionate. Not that you're not. I'm just saying, just for all of us, we see something and we're like, ugh. It's like we can be compassionate because that person might be like that because of a lot of horrible things. And I am you, you are me. As I heal, you heal. As you heal, I heal. For I am you and you are me. And we are one.
Right. Yeah. And when we realize that we are all connected and we all parts of each other, we're fragmented parts of the one mind, like I got earlier. And I see like Yeshua, Jesus, just pulling us up as he's bringing us home. And as we bring our soul circles home, our soul groups home, we go a little bit, as we move toward source, I guess you could call home. And source isn't a place. That's not a place. It's it's a state of mind, right? It doesn't matter. There is no here or there. It's all one. That was another vision I had where when I'm sitting in meditation, I realized, and I've had this before, but a lot of times I get it more and more, where I'm not really here. I'm just telling myself I'm here, just projecting that I'm here as I'm sitting here. I have never left home. This part of me has never left. He talks about that in the Law of Mastery. Has never left. I'm just projecting that I'm here in all these experiences that I have, and that I'm projecting around me. And we agree to these projections, like we're agreeing to have this talk today.
Well, are we?
I don't feel forced. Do you?
No.
You don't agree?
Okay. No, I'm joking. I don't feel forced either.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't feel forced. So yeah, it was just really crazy how I realized that I'm telling myself I'm sitting here and meditating or doing whatever I'm doing. I'm telling myself that I'm walking across the room or speaking or whatever I'm doing, like the Matrix. Yeah.
I thinking, so I know, like, it's really easy to be like, there's no such thing as separation, That's the illusion, is that there's separation, but we just have so many subconscious parts of us that are separated within us. And I really feel until we start accepting, and really, I mean, to our bones, can accept that we are whole, that like we really are love, which is not, it's not as easy as it sounds, my friends. And start really bringing and integrating these parts of ourselves into this whole part, then I feel like then we start really remembering and experiencing this oneness and this wholeness. And then I think that then we can start getting into the God mind. And I really feel like the God mind is actually in our bodies, and it's not really about our brains, but that the body is the brain. I mean, that's what makes sense to me, and that's some messages around that came in a while ago. But I think it's tricksy to be here, right? Because we wouldn't have chosen to come here, even though there is no such thing as here or there. We wouldn't have chosen to have our consciousness come here into this thing, which is moving around, and there is a body, and there are feelings, right? And we feel hurt, we feel pain, and we feel all of these energies. So there's still something to it. And at the same time, it's already happened and it's already over, right? And everything is happening all at once. So I feel like it's hard to kind of like bring all of, we've all exploded and formed and reformed and supernovaed and done everything. And we're there and we're simultaneously here and we're everywhere. Yet a chunk of our consciousness is still animating and in this body, which is still part of a living, breathing, other like earth frequency, right? So I think that conceptually, a lot of this stuff, it's maybe easy to understand, but to like live and to like be in that, right? And to live here in this life, understanding that we're working towards something and that we're all here for a reason. Whether there's a
right.
here.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're working towards something. We have a plan. Just we came here with a plan, and right, what you're saying. And so we did come here with a plan. We did project into this space with a plan, so we could bring up all these other fragmented parts of us.
Yeah.
If they want, whoever, whatever. I mean, we're infinite. We are infinite, so it's not like we have a time limit or anything like that. But yeah, it just blows my mind when how immense we are, and then when we, because when in your meditations, when you get in that space of seeing things clearly, of course, then we go through our day and things just aren't, we forget about it. But when we go within, it's pretty clear to me, at least anyway. And it makes sense. And then I don't take life so seriously, and I don't take myself so seriously, and I see it as see what's going on as like kind of like a movie. Oh, this is a pretty good movie. Hey, this is cool. That's funny, or well, I'm not that I don't do the right thing or what I think is, go through life doing the right thing. But I don't, like Yeshua says, be in the world, not of it, right? And that's when I get really down on and depressed and things like that, or if something would come up, I'd ask him, how do you handle this kind of thing? What do you do? Or and see something in the world that really breaks my heart, like you were feeling sad with that being, that kind of thing. I asked him, how do you handle that kind of thing? And he said, I just don't let it stick to me. I have empathy, of course, but I let everything flow through me. We have to be free flowing vessels and not let it stick. Yeah. And so
when it does stick, that's okay too, because then there's something there that this is what the dragons say, is if there's something sticky there, that means that there's something that is you, that is in you, that just is asking to be healed so that you can,
That it's stuck too.
so that it doesn't stick, right? Like, because it has to have a matching, coordinating frequency in order for it to stick to. And so then we get to go in and look at that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. But being aware of that, but you're not aware of that unless you're aware of it.
Right.
We don't know what we don't know, right?
Yeah. And then what we do know, we realize we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know that much anyway.
No, it's like the more I know, the less I realize I know.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that there's a quote from somebody. I don't remember who it is that says that. Yeah. So true.
Mm-hmm. Have you been feeling anything like in, I don't know, I want to say a shift in the matrix or stuff coming up or things sort of reforming?
Reforming?
I don't know. Like, I want to say, I don't know. I mean, I know the terms to use, but in the question, I don't know the terms to use. Like, I always feel like there's like a false matrix and then there's sort of like the actual real matrix. And the problem is that those frequencies are always sort of overlapping and we sort of have to pick ourselves up off of the false matrix and sort of get aligned in the matrix itself. I personally feel that there's like kind of a shift in the matrix and like it's almost like reforming, like cleaning up, and older parts of the false matrix are like falling and actually dissolving.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that a lot. I also, and that probably has something to do with what I get a lot of premonition thoughts and I don't know it's a premonition until it happens because we don't know until it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll something will happen or I'll be thinking about something or looking for something and then it doesn't take long within the same day usually where that comes up or maybe the next day. So I feel like the matrix is forming around me, yes, and it's forming around me to my desires and my thoughts. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the old would be falling away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Things are just starting to fall into place. What seems like fall into place more, like, I don't know, for an example, I asked my boyfriend, do you know what the Oregon State bird is? Do you know what the Oregon State bird is?
Eagle?
Yeah. That's the national bird.
Okay. I know the bald eagle. I swear I just looked this up. I looked up the flower, the rock, the bird, everything, but I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah. Well, don't feel bad because we didn't either. And I does anyone here know what the state bird is before I reveal it? So I looked it up and it has a really cool call. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh, I've heard that down the river. I've never heard it around here because I live on the river, but and there's a lot of birds, but I don't remember hearing it around me. So I went out on the river. It was the next day. And when I pull up and get off the paddleboard, that bird is calling in the tree right above me.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And it's a very distinct call.
What is the bird's name?
I don't see anybody answering. So okay, it's a Western meadowlark.
I was way off. That's cool.
Yeah, it has a really distinct call and it's really pretty. And I'd never heard it here. I've heard it down the river, but not here. And there it is in my yard the next day. Things like that. Yeah. And there was another bird experience that happened too, and this was yesterday, where I heard the sound of a hawk, and I thought it was, that high piercing, cool sound of a hawk. I think it's a red-tailed hawk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very distinct. And I heard that down the river the other day too, but I didn't know it was a hawk. I thought it was a I thought it was a osprey, because we have osprey up here down. They have a nest down upriver, actually, and so I'm like, oh, what? I have to look up to see if it's an osprey, and I looked it up, and it wasn't an osprey sound. I'm like, well, okay, so what is it? So I looked it up. It wasn't an eagle sound, and I'm like, it must be, maybe it's a hawk. And I looked it up, and it sounded kind of like the hawk. That night, I'm hooked on this show on Netflix. It's called Manifest. That night, that show, that episode is that same sound from a bird. And it was part of the show. It was the exact same sound.
That's fun.
It was a hawk.
That's cool.
So little things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little thing that doesn't mean a lot, but it does. It kind of does when you think about it, when you sit there and let it flow and understand, feel like it's little nods or information from the universe. It means a lot.
I think it means a lot.
I do too. So yeah, that's what happened recently. Little things like that have just been happening more and more around me. What about you?
Oh, I feel that like a lot of stuff is like coming up in people and for people. And so when that happens, I feel like I think we have our own like matrix. Our body has a matrix, our energy field like has a matrix. And then that is connected to the earth matrix, and then what's going on in the earth, and then how do we interact with it, right? So I guess I was just wondering, because it seems like a lot of stuff coming up for people, and usually when that happens, I feel like sometimes there's a pull on the shadow parts that are like challenging you kind of to be like, no, like I actually really don't want that anymore, like, or not to get away from it, but like I've looked at it, I understand what it is, I fully accept that is happening, and that's my experience, and maybe it comes from this, and I want to release that. And I feel like when we're doing kind of work like that, then it's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Just to like bug you a little bit. And then you're like, yes. And it's like, I see that when we do things like that, and when we're strong enough in ourselves to hold ourselves and to kind of do the work, that the big matrix, right, it starts to reform itself and actually releases power to like negative frequencies that are running through. That's all. And it just feels like people have been, at least around me, have been getting pretty activated, and some people have been feeling overwhelmed because of it. And I think that's what's going on. Plus, solstice is coming. Woo-hoo!
It is. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. I love summer solstice.
Yeah.
Longest day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like these long days. For sure. Cool. All righty. Well, it looks like we are just about out of time for this episode of Galactic Updates. We should start numbering these.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I should number them. I see other podcasters number their shows.
Yeah, that's good. You can always reference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we talked about this in podcast number 48. Go check it out.
Call it Magoo, Monthly Galactic Updates. Magoo. Magoo number 3. And if anybody wants to talk about something specific, I highly encourage you to.
Yeah, let us know for sure. Or if you want to come on the show, you got something you want to share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you haven't, if you're a whistleblower or anything like that, we'd love to have you on our show. We like whistleblowers.
Yeah. We will support you.
We will. Yes. And we promise we won't make fun of you.
Yeah. No bullying.
But you can make fun of us.
Yeah, you can make fun of us. This is an anti-bully zone.
Yeah, right. Okay. I don't know if I have any more intel. Yeah, I wrote some stuff down because I forget, because I'll think about it during the week or during the month. Oh, we have to talk about this. And then if I don't write it down, dude, it's gone. I'm sure that doesn't happen to you, right, Ashley? Or
No,
anybody
never.
watching? No.
No.
Yeah. I would say enjoy the ride. This is a really cool time. It's an amazing time to be here. So enjoy it. It's I love it. I would not want to be in the position of having to just, well, I don't know how to put it. Just finding out that maybe our government's been hiding from all this information from us and the extraterrestrials are real, that kind of thing. So
Oh, by yourself?
Well, not just by myself, but as a human on the planet. So many people, a lot of us, and I was there 20 something years ago, where our life was go to work, come home, do whatever. I was a partier, so that's what I would do. But watch TV, go back to bed, go to work, and not really have the time or the energy or the experiences about this topic. You know what I mean? So if it's coming up now, and people who have not been exposed to any of this ever, it might be a hard pill.
Yeah. I feel like the beings are saying for people to call in their soul family, but like in human form, because I feel like a lot of the process is going to be really dependent on micro communities. And I think that there's a lot of reorganization kind of going around. There's a lot of people that are like moving, or they were going to move, and then it's like they can't move for whatever reason, or they don't know where to land, and they're kind of like maybe traveling all over the place, which is also beneficial depending on the person, right? Because a lot of times they're not reenacting, but recrossing timelines from other lifetimes that they're going and like really healing and kind of moving stuff around, or healing land ley lines, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's beneficial to just in meditation ask if this is something that you want to connect with your soul family, like, and maybe you'll start running into them and sort of feel less alone, so that you can actually claim who you are and know that it's safe to be yourself, right? I think that's a lot of it. Like it's like I do think the beings were saying the other day, like through me, like I am strong enough to love myself. I'm strong enough to hold myself. I'm strong enough to know myself, and I'm strong enough to be myself, right? And it's that to be myself, because so much of us, as much as we like to think that we're authentically living our truth in a lot of ways that we are, but we can always live more authentically and more in alignment and uncover more things and accept more things. And I think it helps when we can just truly be ourselves and be who we are, and start sort of attracting other embodied humans that maybe they're not your hardcore soul family, but at least resonating frequencies. And I think it will make things easier. And then that way, when somebody comes in and they're like, oh, what the hell? I don't know what any of this stuff is. You can be like, come.
Yeah.
You are welcome here. So I just have micro communities, I think, are going to be what's going to really help this planet and sort of navigate all of these kind of crazy changes and shifting into higher dimensional frequencies.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I kind of also see it as we shift. I mean, we shifted into the technological age kind of smoothly. For some people, for me, it wasn't so smooth. It took me a long time to get a smartphone, actually, or to even get, a cell phone and to get a smartphone. So I see it as kind of move like that shift, where some people it'll be easy, some people it'll be medium easy, some people will be medium hard, some people it won't even affect them because it won't be in there's no need for it in their world.
They'll just be
Um,
oblivious to it. It won't really matter. And then some people will just have varying levels of resistance.
Right. Yeah.
Or none at all.
Yeah, or not at all. And, go with the flow kind of thing. But whatever comes, it's not, I don't see it happening in a really hard way for people. So that's good, because you may have heard this. I've heard for 20 years ago that we were going to have a really hard shift, but it looks like things are happening more smoothly. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
I know. Yeah, that feels a lot better for sure. No, I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through what I went through 20 years ago. That's for sure. or your dark night of the souls too. That kind of thing. Belief system crashes are not fun. I wouldn't say it was a belief system crash. There was probably some of that going on with me personally, but it was definitely a intense time. Yeah.
So you're seeing that not everybody's going to have to go through that level of like an intense quickening or have to go through a massive dark night of the soul or something like that.
I don't feel that.
That's
I
good.
feel like we're going through it now on a collective, that we're going through that humanity is going through a dark night of the soul. Humanity is going through a quickening. The collective is going through that because we've done our work. A lot of us have done our work. And that's what contributed to the collective being able to move through the dark night of the soul that we're going through. Because so many people have come here to do the work.
Right. And to do collective work too.
Right. And contribute that to the collective. Because as we pull each other up, pull so many people up, and the masters are pulling us up, we're pulling others up or in through the shadows, integrating everything, pulling those parts of us up. Yeah. Pretty cool. All right. Any last words, Ashley?
Nope,
Any other last words? Huh?
I gave them. Calling your soul family. And we'll see you next time. And I will have the link to sign up for the summer fun practice groups that I'm doing.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And I didn't share what I have going on as well. June 25th, I have a amazing pranic healer from India. She's doing a group and personal healing online. Her name is Shraddha. She's amazing. I talked with her on my channel here before. So if you would like to receive some healing, she works on physical, emotional, mental things, helping with also financial situations, that type of thing. So that is June 25th, Sunday at 12 p.m. That's what I have so far going on this week. And I also do mediumship practice myself. So if you're a medium, every other week, I do evidentiary mediumship practice group. We meet together. So if anyone's interested, let me know as well. Just send me a note.
Good.
And I think that's Go
We're
ahead.
not doing mediumship stuff. We're just doing all psychic, fun practice
Psychic, yeah.
groups where we put in breakout things. So perfect. Do hers and mine.
Yes, there we go. And then you'll get the best of the whole
Yeah.
thing, the whole shebang.
Also, and this is for anybody that's interested in dragon stuff, I'm going to be mine isn't live. It's going to be pre-recorded, but everything is free. So if you're interested in dragons, on July 2nd is the International Dragon Thunder Summit, and it's from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. But don't quote me on that because this is running from London times. So just go to dragonthunder.info, and it's all free. And there's just tons of dragon stuff, all dragon, like all day.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Check that out.
The guy that's doing it, he got some dragon messages to do this, and he did it, and like all of these guest speakers and all these people came, and he's like, okay, next year we're going to do it for 2 days, but this day is the first time he's doing it, and I'm pretty excited. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Please subscribe, like, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah.